Hello, 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 hello. Is there anyone out there in the big wide world? Where's my phone? God knows. Right. So hopefully this is not deafening you, as it is deafening me slightly. So should be a little bit quieter now. If the volume is hideous and all over the place, please let me know. But this is Emu68 for the Raspberry Pi Storm. It's a bare metal emulator. And this is running without the Linux OS, so it's running straight from the Raspberry Pi SD card, straight to the Amiga 500 with no operating system as such. Now, I used to play this game a long time ago, so I'm not playing the game as such. This is purely to see. There's a few issues with the graphics there, but that's okay. So blue, that's us. Let's pop over there. You can go there. I don't actually remember how to do this. But it's just showing some things working, that's all it is. It's very fast, it's fair to say. Yeah, so this is the emulator that Michael's working on. And what a great job he's doing of it. It is in a really early alpha stage, so lots of things don't work. For example, it won't actually boot Workbench without a few little tricks. Oh, should have got the dock, shouldn't I? Yeah, so it's not, it doesn't have RTG, it doesn't have AHI, it doesn't have any of the posh things that the Raspberry Pi PiStorm does at the moment. So don't expect the fancy features, because there aren't any. Ooh. Oh yeah. Oh, they failed to take the castle. Fort rather, in American terms, not a castle. So yeah, so that's north and south. So all I'm doing now is trying a few GoTech images, a few ADFs, and this is how I boot it. I'm using the 3.2 Workbench ROM or Kickstart ROM with 3.2 install ADF, and the reason behind that is quite simple: is that it won't boot the Workbench disk just yet without doing some tricks, and I can't be bothered. But you can boot from an install disk. So if you boot from the install 3.2, it will actually boot. Now, I did try booting this yesterday on 3.1, and it wasn't having any of it. So I don't know if I was doing something wrong or if it just doesn't like it, but whatever. It works just fine on 3.2. Why is my... Anyway, I was going to alter the camera, but I can't be bothered. It's very bright, my camera. It might be the monitor, actually. Anyway. So here we are on 3.2. We have 2 meg chip. We have whatever that is. The GoTech's clicking away. Sysinfo. Everybody's interested in Sysinfo. Standard standard A500 with a 68040, supposedly. And the MIPS 216 and 391 times faster than a 600. A 68060, you'd be lucky to get 80 or 90 MIPS. You might get 100 at a push. The Vampire does... What does the Vampire do? I can't remember now. The Vampire does quite a bit more than the 68060, but nowhere near 200 MIPS. I think it's 100 and something MIPS, the Vampire V2. Memory got 60, what have we got? Oh, 254 meg. Oh, hang on, what have we got here? Fast RAM, public RAM, chip RAM. Okay. Okay, so that is Workbench. Well, Workbench install anyway. So let's try. I'm going to try a couple of games. I'm not going to do anything too wonderful and fantastic because, quite simply, that's not why we're here. We're just going to have a quick look and see if see what runs and what doesn't run in respect of just a few programs. Like I say, if you want to run this thing, you can download from Michael. I'll put a link on, and you can download a public release. If you're after the 800 MIPS showboating version, that's not on public release yet, so you'll have to wait. Now this is the new Doom-esque demo, Dread. It runs very much like it runs on an accelerator. But the 1.47 counter in the corner there is times by 50, so you're running at something like 75 megahertz. 75 FPS rather. Put that on max. Okay, let's go kick some baddies. There's some armor to the right. There are obviously graphical glitches. There's all kinds of things going on, but that's okay. This is early days. The very fact it runs at all is pretty spectacular. Nice noises. You can see there's a few graphical glitches, which is not directly related to the PiStorm. I've seen this one when I use acceleration on Dread, it does go a little bit funny sometimes. It's made, after all, for base 500. Okay. So that's Dread. Let's try a couple. Let's try a couple that work, which could be a problem. Suburban Commando is one that's been shown working quite a few times, and the reason for that is quite simple. It does work. Again, booting from ADF, so this is floppy disk speed. New Line Cinema. So I take it this was a film, was it? Suburban Commando. Don't mind the music. Battle your way through the defences of the evil something or other. It's got auto fire if you keep your finger on the button. Now this one does work quite nicely. No glitches, the audio works good. But the Emu68 is being refined constantly. So what doesn't work this week may well work next week. So it's all down to the nightly builds. Michael's doing a fantastic job. If you're interested in supporting Mike, perhaps it'd be a good idea to become a patron on Patreon. While you're at it, you can become a patron of mine if you like. But Michael's got a page up there, a Patreon page. Oh, hello. This is a very Sunday morning game that I would have played in the very early 90s, or 93 I think it was. Probably have to coming back from the car boot sale. Have to buy this for £1. Anyway. I don't like shoot 'em ups, I never have. But I don't mind, this is quite nice and gentle. Very R-typey. I think this is a tie-in license, I rather suspect it is. We need a game for a Hulk Hogan film. Right, we've got a game ready. It's just like R-Type, but we'll call it Suburban Commando. Sounds good. Okay. I don't mind that actually, it's very mediocre. One of the games I used to play briefly, I hired this from a magazine article from probably Amiga format. It was called the Matrix Computer Club, and you could send off, and they would send you a magazine, kind of, and you could pick 2 or 3 games, and they'd send them to you for £5 or something, and you could rent them for a week, but you had to post them back within a week. And this is one of the games I did rent. Good luck, Cadet Murphy. Now this game was fast on a slow A500. It's a little bit ridiculous now. You've got to shoot the targets to meet a minimum quota to progress. Yep. Like I say, it was hard then. If you hit the centre of the target, you get more points. 3 rounds, and you have to get a minimum score of whatever it is. Excuse me. I've got a little bit cold today, so I'm not feeling too fabulous. Anyway, there's no point playing that because I'm rubbish. So it's great to say that everything works. Well, it doesn't. This is Shadow of the Beast. Again, some things work and some things do not. It could be a problem with OS 3.2 or Kickstart 3.2. I'm not sure. But these are all on Kickstart 3.2. As you can see, there's a few issues. Excuse me while I have a drink. It's clearly trying to work. The game by Reflections. Still beautiful even now. Anyway, that don't work. I would like to run F18 Interceptor rather, and this will boot with an icon library error. So what I've done is I've dumped the icon library file from install 3.2, stuck it on the original disk, and see if it will boot. It doesn't, but I was curious to see how far it would get, which is obviously not very far. But anyway. So this is build 13, nightly build 13 of Emu68. So it's still very early, and it's no signal. Well, I didn't like that much. So it's still very early in its build, obviously. So there we go. That's just a selection of games that do and do not work. Oh, I was going to put on Test Drive, which does actually work very well. Test Drive plays quite nicely, nice and quick, as I imagine Test Drive would have done back in the day, but it didn't. It was slow as hell. But as you can see, this is flash floppy. Let me just see if I've got Test Drive, and we'll give that a quick go. Test Drive, there we go. We'll stick that on the end. and we'll give test drive a quick go, and that will do. Now there are a few issues with Emu68. Hard drives are a problem at the moment, but that is being worked on. If you listen to Michael's presentation in AMI West at last night, I think it was, on YouTube, you can hear the details of what's going on and what's coming, and so on and so forth. Quite interesting. Let me just reboot because it's ignoring me. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's all kinds of things they're working on. FPU, SD card, hard drive images, all kinds of things. Oh, it don't seem to boot. Stopping on track 59 of test drive, which is a little bit annoying. So I was playing this only about half an hour ago, but never mind. That's a shame. One more. Should we see if there's one more that we can stick on? And that will do. 3D pool works. I've just been informed by the guys on Discord, but I haven't copied the ADF over. Turrican doesn't work, and I was sort of under the impression it did. But anyway, in fact, most of these don't work. Come on. Sidewinder. We played Sidewinder. Oh, is that it? Okay. Well, I'll do. SimCity definitely doesn't work. Jack the Ripper. Don't know what the hell that is, but we'll give that a go just for the sheer novelty. F7 to reboot. Jack the Ripper. No way on earth this is going to work, but you never know. Well, no. Well, that's clearly not what it was. Campaign 2, Charlie Chimp. Well, let's go Charlie Chimp. Amiga Action presents 2 excellent games. Oh, well, that's not working. That's gone crazy. Let's reboot that. So I won't subject you to more of my nasally huffing and puffing. Let's try campaign 2. No, it's not happy. Fair enough. Go back to install, and that will do, I think. The boot menu works, which you can see. And that's about it, really. There's not much to say. The good thing about this is you can just drag and drop Emu68 onto an SD card on the Raspberry Pi, rather than having to burn images with WinImage or Apple Pi Baker or whatever it is you use. It's just a drag and drop onto a FAT32 drive, so there's no messing about. And you can swap out the emu.img for a newer version as and when you take the fancy. It's currently on build 013, so that's about all I've got for you this time. In the next vid, in a week or two, we'll keep coming back to Emu68K and we'll see what's going on. So this is booting from, obviously, install. Now, one of the things I do have is Edu's parallel port SD card reader, which I thought would be very nice because I can just use this, but it won't open for whatever reason, which is a little bit annoying, even though it says it's there. There we go, SD card ready. SD card is open. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Anyway, that's a job for another day. So there we go, that is Emu68. It is working. But but very much work in progress.